Well, hello and welcome back to my channel if you haven't been here before. My name is Nigel Bailey and I'm a keen, enthusiast, amateur photographer. I mainly do landscapes and nightscapes, astrophotography type stuff in the main. So if it's your first time here, you're very welcome. Great to have you with us, and if you're returning, thank you so much for coming back and watching a little bit more.
Gentle as the lightest breeze. Layer by layer, from earth and air to wooded heights, I shall in time, like all things, fall under skies crowned by moon's cold glow. The tale of time is written here in fallen stone and rising spoil, abandoned all, redemption lost.
Today I am at Silbury Hill and well, I'm hoping for clear skies tonight. I'm not entirely sure. It's one of those skies with a really thin, very high haze, which may or may not disappear. It's good 3 hours or so before sunset at the moment. I'm being pestered by lots of insects, which is, well, it's a brilliant sign actually. It might just be my imagination, but I think I'm seeing more insects this year. And maybe that's something to do with the kind of weather and spring that we have had. Enough of that. So, it's a long time till sunset, and I'm not really going to do my main shoot day until the middle of the night, because I want to photograph Avery rings with the Milky Way. That's the plan. It's late April, very late April, and so this is kind of peak time for it really. If I'm going to do it any time, this is the time to do it. I think it's at a nice angle for it this time of year. I am teaming up once again with Kent Faith, or K&FConcepts. So I'm going to be trying out one of their pieces of kit. And, well, it's quite a simple one. More about that in a moment.
Under skies crowned by moon's cold glow, the tale of time is written here in fallen stone and rising.
So, I have been sent a little bit of kit to try out, and this one might be of interest to you if you are one of those people who, like me, sometimes finds that you just haven't got the right Z mount lens and for your Nikon camera, and or you've got the right lens, but it's an old style F mount lens. So what I have been sent to try out by our friends at Kent Faith is this item here. Let's just see if we can show you that. Let's come around here so you can see me, shall we? There we go. It allows you to mount F-mount Nikon lenses on Z-mount cameras, on the Z series cameras. And why on earth would you want to do that? Aren't the Z series lenses so much better? Well, the answer to that is kind of, maybe, yes. Better in what way? Technically, they tend to have better coatings on these days, and they're absolutely beautifully sharp. I love my Z mount lenses, but they're blooming expensive, and so this little piece of kit will open up a whole world of really older, well-built lenses to you to use on your Z series camera. And so I've got a little dandelion here, backlit by the sunshine, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to get out my 80 to 200 mil f-mount f2.8 zoom lens. What I will get is a much shallower, hello ducks, a much shallower depth of field than I can get with my 24 to 200, which is an f4 to f6.3. So on full stretch, f6.3, I'm not going to get really shallow depth of field, and that's what I would like to try for this particular shot. So we're going to give that a go. So what we're going to do with this one is we're going to take the F-mount end of this and we're going to pop it on the back of here, and then the Z-mount part of it is going to go on the body side. Okay. Do you know, is it just me, or do you feel like you have to be an octopus to do this lens juggling trick every time you change lenses? Right. Okay. Now, let's just dust this off. Now, there are a few things to note about this little box of tricks. So, the first thing is, most importantly, this is basically just tube, and it's got an F mount on one end and it's got a Z mount on the other end. That's it. It is just a tube. So it doesn't carry any electrical signals. There's nothing electronic about it. There are no optics inside of it either, so it's not going to interfere with your optics. It does mean all it's going to do is allow you to put this lens on this camera. Now the other thing about it being a manual lens is that has implications, sorry, not a manual lens, a manual adapter, is that has implications about what lenses you can put on the camera and expect to be able to use with it. So anything that requires an automatic function, so for example the G series of Nikon lenses, Nikkor lenses, you will not be able to use because you have no way of adjusting the aperture for those. So we're looking at the older style of lenses, ones like this one that have got a manual aperture adjustment ring, because you need to be able to set everything manually: focus, aperture, shutter speed, and well, ISO, obviously that's all done in camera anyway, but anything to do with the lens itself, you need to be able to do that manually. And so any lens with any kind of automatic functionality, it's not going to work, I'm afraid. So don't get it if that's what you're hoping to. If you're hoping to be able to use some old G series lenses that you have in your collection with your nice new Nikon Z series camera, you're going to need the Nikon F to Z mount. Right, okay, so I've got this on. I think I'm going to want a polarizer here because of the way the sun is shining on this dandelion. And so I'm going to get that set up, and we'll take a shot or two, and if they're any good, I shall show them to you. So this is a rather nice scene actually, and just again shooting against the light here, and this lane is lined with really bright dandelions, and so I've just taken a few shots of those, and I think they're rather nice. And so some of these I have focus stacked because at a sort of 200mm focal length you're really not getting very much depth of field at all, and so I've had to focus stack those even on f8 and f11, and but nevertheless it's going to be interesting to see what the outcome of these is going to be. I have shot with this lens before when I owned a Nikon D800, and I just loved the tone of the images that I got. Didn't have all the modern coatings and all that kind of stuff that make it all very, very clean, but it's somewhere akin to the sort of analogy, if you like, of listening to a vinyl record versus a digital CD or an MP3 track, something like that. So I'm rather looking forward to seeing what some of these come out like. But this is really quite a short little contribution this evening. Mostly I'm here for the night shoot, and I won't be using this particular adapter this evening. I don't have a lens that I can use with that. I would have quite liked to be able to use the 17 to 55mm f2.8, because I don't have an f2.8 lens that gives me more focal length than 20mm of my Nikkor one. I have a 15mm Lauer and I have the 20mm Nikkor lens, and I would like something that just gave me just a little bit more reach when I want to fill the frame a bit more with the main core of the Milky Way. And so that is one of the downsides really of the manual adapter ring here, F to Z adapter, is that it's not going to allow me to use that lens that I have in my stable because it is a G lens, and so I've no way of altering the aperture. As I understand it, what happens is that when you if you put it on your camera without the ability to adjust the aperture, it would just close it down to the narrowest available aperture. So I think that's going to be something like f22, which isn't going to be very useful at night time. And but really it's just to illustrate the fact that I can use some of these older lenses, and for me it's important because we don't all have endless budgets. I definitely don't, and what this particular lens has enabled me to do, let me just turn it around again so you can see it. This one, which is the 80, I think I might have said 70 earlier, but it's an 80 to 200mm f2.8 lens, and I did have at one point in time an equivalent in the Z series, but I don't use it very often. And in fact I found that after about a year of ownership of really a very, very pricey lens, from memory best part of a couple of £1,000, I'd barely used it. And this little bundle of joy cost me, I think it was either 120 or 140 pounds. I mean, just a order of magnitude difference in terms of price. And so I can afford to keep that. Selling the other lens, which I was barely ever using, enabled me to purchase things like the camera that I am now filming on, which has absolutely changed my YouTube input massively in terms of the kind of quality that I'm able to produce. So for me that was a good trade-off, but I'm really delighted to once again have in my lens stable an f2.8 telephoto lens. Fantastic. So far, all is good. I would recommend this to you if you find yourself in that sort of position that I am in, of needing to use older style f-mount lenses with an aperture ring on your Z series camera. It's about 33 quid compared to the 250 odd pound street price for the Nikon FTZ Mark II mount. Gosh, that took a bit of getting my head around. So more than £200 saving, and of course a huge saving on the lens as well. So there you go. Hopefully more good value for money advice for you from Nigel Bailey Photography. I should mention that K&F do have an affiliate link which is in the description below, and I believe that if you buy anything of any of their products using my affiliate link from the link below, I believe I get an 8% kickback for that. Now, I have checked on Amazon and it tends to work out there pretty much the same price as you can get stuff on Amazon for. I get 8% kickback, you get 17% discount off the price on the website. And so pretty much costs us the same, costs you about the same, and it just helps me out a little bit to sustain the channel. So go and have a look if you're interested in that, and let me know if you do, whether you're doing that and how you get on. Love to hear from you. Finally, do like, subscribe, and all those wonderful YouTube things.